Right, okay. Welcome to another video on Pydini doing stuff and filming it. No guesses to what this is, or no prizes for guessing what this is. Oh, fuck it. Right, welcome to another video on Pydini doing stuff and filming it. Now, no prizes for guessing what this is. Yeah, we're doing TV license letters again. I am really fucked off with this particular letter. Right, here we go. Roll my sleeves up. Let's get into this. Now, full disclosure, I have already read this letter, and that's kind of the reason why I'm actually so fucked off right now. Yeah, it's already open because, of course, I've scribbled out my address. Now, fair warning, if there are any kids in earshot, you may want to send them out of the room, or send them to bed, or tell them to go play with fire or something, because there's going to be a lot of swearing in it. I probably should have warned you that before I said fuck the first few times, but well, shit. Anyway, let's get into it and you'll see why I am really quite cross about this now. And if anyone who knows me, I am a very placid person. It takes a lot to piss me off, and this letter has done it. So let's have a look. So, typical red envelope, as there always is. Yeah, same shit, different day. Right, here we go. Usual crap. Yeah, the legal occupier, my address scribbled out, November 2022. The 2nd of December when I'm filming this now. It came a few days ago, did this letter, and I've just now had time to look it over and go through it, because I have a job during the day. Anyway, so, dear sir or madam, that's Mr. Pydini to you, you cunts. As you have not responded to our letters yet, you have left us no alternative but to proceed with the final stages of our investigation. An officer has been scheduled to visit my address to find out if TV is being watched, recorded, or downloaded illegally. The officer may visit your property any day of the week, morning or evening. Well, why not during the day? I'm not getting up for you. The information below explains the procedure. You may refer to it during a visit from the officer. Yours faithfully, non-existent Scott Robson, Enforcement Manager. We'll look at the bottom half in a minute. That's fairly standard bullshit, but this is perhaps the most aggressive letter I can think of getting from these cretins. I've had loads over the years. I've only recently started making videos about them. I'm sure there's going to be plenty more to come. But I don't remember ever getting one like this before. I'm sure other people have had them in the past, and I may well have had one like this in the past, but I don't remember it. And yeah, this is by far the most aggressive one I've had. And it's sickening, really. It really fucking is. Just imagine, I've said this in all my previous videos as well. Just imagine an elderly or otherwise vulnerable relative of yours getting this. You know, just imagine your grandmother, getting this. Or my grandmother, I always think back to just after my granddad died, because he used to deal with all the bills and all the general running of the household and everything. He did all of it. And she really struggled after he passed. I picture her getting this letter and just having a full-on fucking panic attack from it. It's just disgusting. As you have not responded to our letters, I'm under no fucking obligation to. Nobody is. You have left us no alternative but to send the boys round. The final stages of our investigation. An officer has been scheduled to come round. They're salesmen, and they're not scheduled to do shit. But, this, as far as I'm concerned, and yes, I'm not a solicitor or a barrister, I have no legal training at all, but I intend to report this as a malicious communication. We'll have a look in a minute. I've been looking up the law on it on legislation.gov.uk, which is where you can find any law in the UK in its original print, and it fits the definition, as far as I'm concerned, of a malicious communication. So we're going to be reporting this. Initially I thought it was Ofcom, but it's not. They do regulate the post, but they regulate Royal Mail, Post Office and Parcel Force. They don't regulate things that are sent. It turns out it's your local police, which is a bit of a downer because I have very little faith in the police. But that's an argument for another day. Alright, let's do the bottom half. Bullshit reference number. What you need to know about the enforcement process. We can apply to court for a search warrant to gain access to your property. They can, but they never fucking do. But you know why they're putting that there? To scare people. You know, they want this to be like, people are going to come to, they're going to be in fucking bulletproof vests, and they're going to come and have a warrant and force their way into your house, and you know, they want you to think that the police are coming. They're fucking not. Salesmen are coming. An officer may interview you under caution. Also fucking what? In accordance with national criminal law. They have no fucking power. Anything you say to the officer may be used as evidence in court. Well, you risk a fine of up to £1,000 plus any legal costs and or compensation you may be ordered to pay. Same bullshit. If your property needs a TV licence, you will still need to buy one. In Scotland, Scottish criminal law applies. It'll be sent to the... Yeah, we're not in Scotland, but yeah. A reminder of the law, and it just tells you it's illegal to watch or record. Yeah, the usual thing. Yeah, actually, interestingly... Ooh. It is illegal to watch or record live TV programmes on any channel, or to download or watch BBC programmes on iPlayer without a TV licence, no matter what device you use. That is false. That is false, because, and if anyone's seen my breakdowns of their YouTube videos, even they say if the device is powered by its own internal power supply, i.e. it's battery powered, you don't need a TV licence for it. So no matter what device you use, you could watch it on a mobile phone or a tablet. I don't have a tablet anyway. Fuck it. Calculator. Imagine it's a tablet. No wires. Own internal power supply. Perfectly legal. And the reason that's interesting, because, and I'll show you this on screen when we go and have a look at the law in a minute, information which is false and known or believed to be false by the sender is part of the law, is part of the offence. Silly cunts. Right. And then, yeah, buy a TV licence, call them, yeah, just fuck off. Visit undertaken by the non-existent Cambridge Enforcement Division. Please ask for identification. Oh, and then the usual. Please do not write below this line. So we've just written anal fissure this time. Because why the fuck not? I actually opened this a couple of hours ago, and I still haven't calmed down from it. And that is really quite unusual for me. I encounter some proper wankers in my day-to-day life. I'm in customer service. I deal with wankers day in, day out, and they never faze me. This has really pissed me off. What's on the back? Oh, it's the usual shit. Well, it's a bit different to the others. It's laid out slightly different, and it's in red now because that means something. But yeah, it's just, how can you pay for your TV licence? Go online. Would it be easier to spread the cost? Be easier if you fucked off? What if you don't need a TV licence? Then you can fuck off. Could you get a concession if it's 100% concession and you fuck off? Yeah, fine. Would you like this in more accessible format? I still haven't been able to get hold of these accessible formats, but never mind. Have your details changed? No, correspondence in Welsh. Oh, should we order it in Welsh? Yeah, should we order it in Welsh and then we'll run it through Google Translate and have a good laugh about it? To change your details, fill in this form. Oh, fuck off. So, deep breath, Stuart, deep breath. Yeah. I'm not entirely sure why there's a cut line here. I'm just noticing this. What is that there for? So I can send that bit back? Or they're just trying to make it look, because it's folded along there. So I could rip it along there. Oh, so you tear that bit off, you don't need this. But this is what you're going to need. You're going to have to hold on to this. This will protect you from the enforcement officers. Oh, no. Oh, dearie me. Oh, look at that. Oh, look, I didn't notice that's perforated there, look. I can tear that shit off. Oh, look at that. Look at that. This thing practically rips up itself. Look at that. I can just go along there like that with it. Well, that bit's not really important now anyway. That bit is really fucking annoying. That is aggressive, it's threatening, and this information here, maybe I shouldn't have ripped this up now, it's false. That is wrong. So what we're going to do about it? Well, I am going to find a way to report them. Now, I know plenty of people have done this before, and they're not going to stop, and I don't expect it's going to go anywhere. But it could be interesting to run this through whatever complaints procedure I can find and run it down to its final conclusion, and we'll see where it goes. This could be interesting. I've looked it up briefly, see who regulates TV licensing. It's the BBC. So, of course, there's no point complaining to them. I'm not even going to try. Malicious communications, however, you make your reports to the police, which doesn't fill me with confidence, but we'll give it a go anyway. So I need to find a way of putting this back together. There's going to be no ripping it up yet with this video, because I need to keep this for now. I wish I hadn't torn it apart quite so easily. Yes, never mind. Yeah, I need to find a way to put this back together, so I'm going to need to keep this. And I perhaps should have made a scan of it before scribbling that out. I may have fucked myself up already here, but yeah, we are going to report this because it is threatening, which is part of the law, which I'll show you in a minute, and it is false. There's false information right there. Yeah, let's put this away safely, which is a strange thing. So normally I rip them up and throw them in the bin. Let's put it away in here for now, and we shall. Let's go and have a look at this law. Alright, so this is the bit of law that I'm looking at. Now, I apologise if the first bit of that video was a bit ranty and unscripted. The long and short of it, it was ranty and unscripted, which is unscripted is how I do nearly all of my videos. I just like doing them that way. I prefer them to just be honest and organic, you could say. But yeah, I was in a bit of a mood, but I've had a cup of coffee and we've calmed down a bit. But this is what I'm looking at. So, legislation.gov.uk. If I'm looking up anything sort of legal, I try and use this because anything else, it's subject to, well, inaccuracy, you could say. By that I mean, I once looked up something to do with stop and search powers with the police. Now you go on, say, the Metropolitan Police's website, and it actually grossly overstates their powers. You go on the government website, it says something completely different, and you come to this, and it says the truth as well. But yeah, that's the police for you. They're always overstepping their bounds and lying to the public. But that is a rant for another day. So yeah, we've come here, legislation.gov.uk. I found this. I essentially just typed in the malicious communications law UK, and it comes straight up. There is ways to search for it, but this has made this website more for sort of legal professionals, I think. So the search functions on it aren't quite as user friendly as just using Google. So yeah, just use Google. So yeah, Malicious Communications Act 1988. So it's a relatively old law, but as you can see here, we can scroll this along and we can see the different amendments and changes that have been made to it. Obviously it's changed a few times, well, because communication has changed since 1988. We have social media now. Yeah, and it has to cover that, and I get the feeling this is used more now to cover social media than the original communications, as in letters, that it was designed for. But there we go, that's law for you. So we're using latest available revised, which came into force 28th of April 2022, which is, what's that, 6, 7, 8 months ago at the time of recording. So here we go. So number 1, section 1, offence of sending letters, etc., with intent to cause distress or anxiety. I mean, do we really need to read any further? Well, yes we do, but we could just put it there. That's exactly what that letter is designed to do, isn't it? I mean, it hasn't worked. All it's done with me is just caused me to be really fucking annoyed, but it's quite obvious that that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to scare people. So It says person, but of course, well, you could say person. Someone has approved this letter to be sent by this company. But anyway, any person who sends to another person, which is what they're doing, a letter, electronic communication, or article of any description. Now that would have been originally just a letter, won't it? But that's been changed. Electronic or article of any description. They've sent you something, an email, letter, don't really matter, which conveys, number one, a message which is indecent or grossly offensive. It's not that. I mean, I do find it grossly offensive, but it's not that. Number two, a threat. It's definitely fucking that, isn't it? They're definitely threatening you. Yeah. And information which is false and known or believed to be false by the sender. It's that as well, isn't it? That bottom part, they said on any device. That is not true. And I think it's safe to say that TV licensing know that. Or they fucking ought to know that. And B, any offence, article or electronic communication, which is in whole or in part of an indecent or grossly offensive nature. It's not that. That's for, like, I don't know, sending your dick to people when you don't ask for it, something like that. It's not that. We're here, Section A, 2 and 3, threats and false information. And is guilty of an offence if his purpose, or one of his purposes, it's their only purpose, in sending it is... they word these so weirdly. In sending it is that it should, so far as falling within paragraph A or B above, yep, it does, A, yeah, under those two, sections 1, 2 and 3 rather, cause distress or anxiety to the recipient. There you go. I think it's safe to say that is exactly what they're trying to do. So, yeah. Or to any other person to whom he intends that it or its contents on it should be communicated. Well, the recipient, isn't it? And I just don't get how they can get away with it. It really pisses me off. Well, I do know how they can get away with it. They're part of the establishment, aren't they? If I go to the police with this, I can pretty much guess. You know, if I walk into a police station, and go, I'd like to report a malicious communication, then go, someone's been sending hurty words on the internet, and then I'm going to say, yeah, I received this threatening letter from TV licensing, and it's also conveying false information contrary to this law. Then you go, yeah, well, they're allowed to do that, though, aren't they, because they're TV licensing. Government says they can. And that'll be as far as that conversation goes. So we're going to find a slightly more intelligent way of approaching it rather than actually just talking to the police. I'm not sure what that's going to be yet, but we'll figure it out. And there's more to this, but that is the relevant part. So that's all about electronic communication, which this isn't. It's a letter. A person guilty of an offence is liable on conviction, on indictment to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 2 years, or a fine, or both. Well, of course, it's going to be a fine. You can't imprison a corporation. Well, you can imprison everyone that works for them, but, well, no, you can't. That's not legal. On summary conviction to imprisonment for a term not exceeding 12 months, or a fine, or both. So it's going to be a fine. In relation to an offence committed before... No, it's been committed after, so that's not relevant. Okay, that's not starting to get off topic then. But it's this top bit here that we're interested in. So, yeah, I think it's safe to say they've crossed a line there. Yeah, up until this point, they've just been the usual stupid letters. You know, we knew what they were trying to do, which is cause, intimidate people. To get them all worked up and get them to buy a license and things like that. And it was pretty disgusting behaviour. But there's something about that last one. It's difficult to put into words, but I think it's crossed a line by some margin in how threatening it actually is. I am really, really disgusted and angry at them. And I worry for the vulnerable people out there that are receiving those letters. How many of them have just in a complete fucking panic? And yeah, like I said earlier, I think back to my grandma, who really struggled to manage after my granddad passed, getting a letter like that. You know, because she struggled. Yeah, getting a letter like that. These big burly men are going to come and break down the door. What are they going to do to her? You know. absolutely disgusting behaviour. I am really fucked off. Right, we're going to call that it. I am going to report this. I'm going to find a way. I'll let you know what happens. If I was a betting man, I'd put my money on absolutely fucking nothing happening. I suspect I'll send off the report to whoever I decide to send it to. They'll probably just completely fucking ignore it, but it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Maybe I will get a response. Maybe I'll get an explanation. Maybe I'll get told to go to somewhere else. That happens a lot. You know, you get told, oh no, report it to this body, and then they pass you on to someone else, and... But yeah, I'll keep you updated on where it goes, and yeah, for now, thank you for watching. Alright, so yeah, bit embarrassing. I'm working on this this report, and I'm doing the edit of the video that you've just watched as well at the moment. I was going to scan this this letter that I've received, so you can make reports of crimes. This letter is a crime online, but of course you need to upload your evidence. So I was going to scan it, so I've got an electronic copy and send it off. Now the fact that I've ripped it up isn't much of an issue. I can just put the pieces together. You can still read it. That's fine. I haven't ripped it up into loads of pieces like I normally do. What I did though was when I opened it, I yeah, immediately just wrote anal fissure on the bottom of it, because I always do that. If you've seen my other videos, it says please do not write below this line, and just because I'm childish I always write something daft just below it. It's probably not going to help my complaint if I send them a scan with the words anal fissure written on the bottom of the evidence. Can you imagine that going up in front of a judge? Yeah, but yeah. Now, if... now, well, actually, I know that they will have sent out thousands of these. Now, if anyone out there watching this has a copy of this letter, and I've just read it out to you, it's quite a distinctive and threatening one, can I have a copy? If you get in touch with me however you want to in the comment section, that's a good way. I read every comment on all of my videos, and I try and respond to them as well. I don't respond to all of them. Some of them don't make sense, unfortunately. Anyway, I do read every single one. If you have a copy of it, I don't mind if you want to take out your personal details. I mean, nothing will happen if you don't. I do work for a company that handles a lot of personal information. I am DBS checked and everything, so don't worry about it if you don't, but I fully understand if you want to take out your personal details. But if someone has an unmolested copy that doesn't say anal fissure on the bottom of it, can I have it please? Because yeah, I feel a bit silly. I perhaps shouldn't have done that. I think when I get these letters in the future, because we all know this ain't going to be the last one, I'll read it through and decide what I want to do with it before I write something stupid across it. Yeah, whoops. So, yeah, let me know if you have a copy. I'd really like to have it off you. But for now, again, thank you for watching. Thank you for watching this video on Pydini doing stuff and filming it. Please don't forget to press the big button here in the middle to subscribe if you haven't already done so. If you liked what you just saw, please click the like button below and leave a comment letting me know what you liked about it. And as always, thank you for watching.